Dr. Daggy was always very approachable. That's really the lasting image I'll have of him, is how approachable he was to the Fields people and how willing he was to not only let you know if you did a good job or if you could have done things better, but how nice about it he was, and also how he would utilize the moment as a teaching opportunity.
He's everything all at once. He was a great trauma specialist, and he was always happy to see us and always happy to help and be there for us.
It was wonderful.
He's the gentlest man I've ever met. Just kind. You could talk to him about anything, any patient. He was always there, always took the time.
Awesome to work with. It's a great guy, great role model, great physician,
Yeah.
great father as well.
And he always would listen. Like, I could talk about anything and he always listened. He always had time.
Yeah, his smile was a unique smile. It was a very genuine smile. And then once you start talking to him, you felt like you were talking to someone that you knew for many, many years, an old friend.
He was a regular human being. You could relate to him. He could relate to you. And it was just somebody that you felt comfortable discussing things with.
He just wanted to help everybody and do whatever he could to make everything a better place.
I think he was a really good doctor, one of the best doctors we see in emergency medicine, but he's an even better person.
He certainly was one of the hardest working people, and he talked about his kids all the time.
Anytime he ever talked about his children, you could see the love in his eyes. You could see how important his family was to him.
Just a really sincere man and a very loving and caring man, and just a really good person.
Pretty remarkable experience, kind of getting to work with him, and to say that I knew him, certainly an honor and a privilege.
He's more than a colleague, he's a friend.
He always was in a good mood, always friendly, always helpful, always took time, never rushed, and he was truly a gentleman.
He was just a real good person overall, a real caring man.
Going into the ER, no matter how busy it was, he always had a smile and a, hey, how you doing?
No matter where he was in life, he always gave something back to the community he was living in.
Dr. Daggy was a very caring man, very intelligent, loving. He would give 110% no matter what he did.
I look at his chair in the ER now and miss him already.
I feel that I'm a better man because I was able to call Aaron Daggy my friend for 2 years, and I'm gonna miss him a lot.
Hello, my name is Peyton Daggy and I am Aaron's niece. I would like to start by telling you all what a good, caring, and loving person my uncle was. He loved his wife and his 3 beautiful children more than anything on this earth. Uncle Aaron and Eli were best buds. They fished and kayaked together, they worked in the yard and grew apples together. Seeing Uncle Aaron with Eli was such a heartwarming experience. Right after Owen and Willow were born, I was lucky enough to come visit with my grandmother for 4 days. We visited the babies in the NICU and we all spent lots of time together. This time meant so much to me. I really feel like I got to know Uncle Aaron and Aunt Bridget so well. During this visit, I told Uncle Aaron that I might want to become a doctor when I grow up. He was so happy that he immediately offered to bring me to his hospital whenever I wanted, and he said that he would show me around and let me work with him. Right after Thanksgiving, my family and I came up to visit. We saw the babies who were finally home. Uncle Aaron had seemed the happiest I'd ever seen him. This is how I will always remember him. I know he only got to spend a few short weeks with his babies, but I know if he was still here, he would never let them go. My uncle worked especially hard to make sure Eli felt comfortable with his new siblings in his life. He spent special time alone with Eli just to make sure Eli knew how special he was and he would always be his dad. For Uncle Aaron to pass at such a young age, leaving his beautiful family behind, is the most tragic event ever. We all loved him and will miss him dearly. Uncle Aaron, I hope you are watching down on us and know that I will love you and miss you forever.
Aaron Thomas Daggy, my son. What an absolute privilege that he chose me to be his mom. I was the first to love him, and 39 years was far too short. But my heart is warmed to know that all of you were blessed to have known him and loved him too. The lyrics of a Billie Holiday song have kind of held me this week. We will meet again. I don't know where, I don't know when. I'll see you in the morning sun, and when the skies are blue, looking at the moon, I will be seeing you. On December the 7th, in the early morning hours, a new star joined our galaxy. On a clear night, look up and you will see him, still caring for all of us. My dear, dear son, I will love you always. Thank you for choosing me. In my faith tradition, we have an evening prayer. Let me respectfully remind you, life and death are of supreme importance. Time passes quickly by and opportunity is lost. Awaken, awaken. Do not squander your life. Aaron Thomas Daggy was only here for 39 years, but he certainly did not squander the time that he had. My tradition also tells me, no matter how hard a state of mind we may get into, if we are strong and hold up, eventually the clouds must vanish and the withering wind must cease. I want to take this time to thank all of you for the outpouring of love and support that you have offered our family this week. And I only ask that you not forget us. Bridget and these children are going to need all of us. Thank you.
Good morning. My name's Dr. John Zevan. I worked in the emergency department with Aaron. And I just, excuse me. There's no doubt in our emergency department suffered a tremendous loss. And it's a void that we're never going to fill. Our emergency department's unique in that we all get along and we like each other. I know that sounds strange, but we have all worked in different departments and people just don't get along. We have a very unique working relationship with all of our physicians and our staff, whether it's schedule changes, covering for each other. It's just a great place to work. And when Aaron first started working with us, he fit right in. He was extremely friendly right from the beginning, extremely compassionate, hardworking. I like to refer to him at that point in his career as Aaron version 1.0. He was just out of residency. He was very, very dedicated to emergency medicine. He started out with the usual insecurities and not sure of himself, constantly seeking our advice. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this wrong? Am I making the right decision? Aaron, yes, you are. You just need to just trust yourself, calm down, relax. It's going to be fine. You're doing a great job. In fact, Dr. Gomez, our director, would often say, Dags, you got to calm down, buddy. Your head's going to explode if you don't. Just relax. You're fine. Everything's going to be great. He made a big difference in our department at that time when he joined us. And he worked so hard, and he would do everything right, but he just, at that point, he always questioned himself. I think Aaron's the only person at that time who could actually talk himself out of actually admitting somebody who's having a heart attack. I mean, it was just, but he got through it, and he worked with us for several years, but he left us in a few years after that to seek greater opportunities. He wanted to go and help with the residency program out at Guthrie. He became medical director of their air flight service. Eventually worked over in Cooperstown. But after a while, and we talked about this when he came back, he realized it doesn't matter where you're working, what department you're in. Every place has problems. Every place has difficulties. You got to be happy with your life, with your family, with your community. That's what's eventually is going to make a difference. So he and Bridget said, of all the places I've worked, Wilson and UHS was just, it's family. Everyone was friendly, courteous. I want to go back there and I want to establish my career, and that's where I want to finish out. And they moved back. In our department, at that time, we were suffering. We had lack of staffing. We had, I would say, less than quality physicians coming through. When Aaron came back, we were ecstatic, and it just bolstered our department. And we've been growing strong ever since. And having him back was just a blessing. And when Aaron version 2.0 came back, he upgraded himself as a much more relaxed, calm, much more confident physician. We were the ones seeking him out for advice instead of him coming to us now. So it was quite a change. We all commented on how tremendous and how he's grown as a physician, and we were just so happy having him back to work with us again. He wasn't only loved by the staff, the nurses, the physicians, mid-levels, EMS, fire department, residents, medical students. Everybody that interacted with him, just, I don't have to go on further about that, but his patients loved him as well. And that's something in the emergency department, that's a hard relationship to establish in a short period of time. If you read all the comments online, many of them are made by patients from the emergency department that he treated. And I think that's amazing. It's commendable that so many people who didn't even know Aaron for more than maybe one ER visit commenting on how amazing he was. And that speaks volumes of the person of how he treated people. I worked after Aaron had passed away. I worked the last couple of nights, and people that didn't even know me or know him, I'm sorry, when I say people, I mean patients, were coming up to me and saying, I'm sorry to hear about Dr. Daggy. I can't believe he's passed away. So, I was just touched by that they were passing this along to me, and they wanted me to pass that along to the family as well. People don't wake up in the morning and put on their things to do today list. Number 5, I've got to go to the emergency room. All right, well, maybe there's a few that actually put that as number 1, but okay. For the most part, people don't want to come to the emergency room. They're having the worst day of their life. They're hearing the worst news of their life. It's just not a pleasant experience. We've got to be able to convey to them that they're in good care, that they are loved, that they're going to be taken care of. And as I've said before, we only have a short period of time in the emergency department to establish that relationship. Aaron was really beyond excellent in getting to the point, talking to the families, talking to the patients, and just expressing to them that it made them feel comfortable. They're going to be cared for. Everything's going to be okay. And he was really phenomenal at that task. He served as a perfect example of what a professional is supposed to be like in the emergency room. How to care for the patients respectfully, how to act cool under pressure, how to treat people and peers, and interact with other professions throughout the hospital. A tremendous role model for our employees, not only physicians, but our other staff, that as they look up to Aaron, some are considering pursuing careers in medicine. You heard Peyton mention this already. But we have staff in our emergency department that are young, and they're trying to figure out, what do I want to do? Do I want to become a physician? Do I want to become a nurse? Do I want to enter EMS or fire? And they look at Aaron and they say, I want to do something in healthcare, whatever it might be. The way he acted, the way he treated, it was inspiring. And I'm looking at faces out over the crowd right now, and you know who you are, but you looked at Aaron, and there's no doubt he's inspiring you even right now for those careers. So our department's been dealt a serious blow, but we're healers, and we will heal ourselves and our patients. We keep going. Patients aren't going to stop coming in. Disease and illness doesn't take a day off. It's incumbent upon us to keep going as Aaron would want. We look to him as inspiration. When we think our job's getting difficult, or feel we don't feel like working or putting in the extra effort some days, think of Aaron. Think of his work ethic, his laughter. Think of his low-riding chair. He's always coming in with a giant canister of water. The chair thing always cracked me up because we have these chairs that have pistons that you can raise and lower, and he just, for some reason, just liked to sit really low. I could never understand it. It bothered the heck out of me when I would be replacing him in a shift. I'd come in and sit in the chair and it'd be way too low. I wasn't expecting it to go that low. Or even after he left the first time, one of the things I always used to say was I'd sit in a chair and the piston would inevitably just fail. And you'd slowly sink. And I'd say, "Oh no, I'm getting daggied." So those are the things we're going to remember about him. And we'll laugh and cry, but he's gone. He's not forgotten. We'll always remember December 7th as Pearl Harbor Day. It's also a day that we remember those that have passed, and we now can think of Aaron on December 7th as well. Thank you.
Hi, we're from the West Corners Fire Department. We are the 3 chiefs there. And obviously you see the rest of us here. Who is Aaron? Apparently he's version 2.0, the guy that we got. As we all learned in the West Corners, he wasn't just a humble doctor that loved to be a firefighter. We only had him for a short time, and so didn't understand how involved he was with other agencies or his long history as a firefighter. That story has become clear over the past few days. As one of my firefighters said last night, if you put Aaron in a room with other firefighters and asked someone to pick out the doctor, most likely no one would have picked Aaron. He fit right in. That statement goes to the heart of who Aaron was, the guy who just wanted to help. Thanks to his family for sharing some of Aaron's stories from his early years. A couple of ones seem to stand out, include Aaron as a kid stitching up an earthworm to try to save him. His building a portable infusion pump for his first ambulance squad he was on, which won him a grant. Or the family camping trips, which he continued doing with his own family, to a trip to the Adirondacks this past summer. When I first met Aaron as a new member of the West Corners, the first thing I noticed was Aaron's smile. He had a little twitch to that thing there. It was one of those genuine smiles that made you feel at ease. Then as we talked, it was as if I was talking with someone I knew forever. At the end of our first conversation, I thought to myself, he'll make a great addition to our family. As a new member, he completed a new man class this past fall with flying colors and with enthusiasm. Now Aaron was ready to focus on a project that we talked about from our first conversation, starting this first year here coming up, which was develop a template for a new internal stress team. A team designed to help firefighters that need help to deal with our own stress that comes with the job. So, who is Aaron Daggy, version 2.0? He's a West Corners fire family member that we are all going to sorely miss. Rest in peace. And we thank his family for the time we had with Aaron.
I'm Ray Sarowik. I am Emergency Medical Services Coordinator here in Broome County. In emergency medical services, there's never any shortage of individuals deserving honor and recognition. Many distinguish themselves every day in the service that they render to humankind through this noble endeavor. Physicians, mid-level providers, ED nurses, pre-hospital providers at all levels, dispatchers, and all the allied public safety personnel who assist us. Deciding who to single out for particular recognition is always difficult for those of us regularly called upon to do so. Aaron Daggy, however, was in a class by himself. A successful and admired emergency medicine physician, Aaron didn't limit his service to the emergency department, but took it well beyond in the medical direction that he provided to EMS and in the in-person and hands-on work as a firefighter. He's also a natural and inspirational leader. Every provider I've spoken with about Aaron this week has said pretty much the same thing. He was warm, friendly, approachable, and always ready to share his knowledge with anyone who asked. It's no wonder, then, that EMS providers would seek him out to discuss problematic or perplexing cases with him. And they never finish such a conversation without having gained some useful and enduring insight. Having been all of that, you couldn't have blamed Aaron if he were a bit, shall we say, full of himself. But he wasn't that way. Not at all, as far as I could tell. He saw himself as just one of the guys and wanted others to see him that way as well. If you greeted him with a formal Dr. Daggy, you'd soon learn that Aaron was the preferred salutation. And even if some correction was in order, it was given more as a helpful peer than as a condescending superior. Aaron's gone from us now, but not his influence. We are and will remain better because Aaron Daggy lived and served with us. And we'll continue to have a smile come to our faces when we think of him. Let me give you an example of why, using a story that Bridget's asked me to share with you. Back on October 15th, when their twins, Owen and Willow, had just been born, and keep in mind, this was a particularly difficult pregnancy. Bridget was on bed rest for 7 weeks, strict bed rest before the pregnancy, and here she is still completely without sensation in the lower half of her body from the spinal anesthesia. Aaron became aware that a vacant building next to the hospital was on fire. Even at this, the greatest moment of his life, Aaron apparently couldn't quite resist the urge to buff the fire. What he didn't know was how he was going to explain this to Bridget. So he didn't. Once he was sure that Bridget was okay and the babies were safely off to the NICU, he was suddenly overcome by an urge for Brosetti's pizza. Told Bridget he'd be right back. Well, quite a bit later he did return. Sans pizza and reeking of smoke. And it seems that he did quite a bit more than just watch from the sidelines. He offered some friendly peer-to-peer advice to the firefighters on how best to protect the hospital's bulk oxygen tank near the burning building. And he also directed the care of a firefighter who had become stricken during the battle. Now, I'm still not sure how that whole episode finally resolved after Aaron returned to his wife's bedside, but she hardly could have been surprised. After all, she knew Aaron better than any of us did. Bridget, you and your family continue to be in our prayers. Thank you.
It's a song called Life is Good, but it's about how life isn't always fair and how sometimes people got to figure out how to get through situations. It's a story song. It's a story about different people, people that I wasn't even really thinking about, except the last verse is about me. But it's a story song about how sometimes life can be lonely and how things don't always go our way, but the whole meaning and the whole message of the song is that we always need to look for those people and those relationships that will continue to make life good. And I never knew Aaron. I got a phone call yesterday. I was in Buffalo playing at a middle school, and my good friend Bill Lawler said, he had told me what had happened, and he said, we want to use one of your songs, for a project we're doing. Can I have your permission? I said, yeah, absolutely. So you just got to pay me. No, I'm just kidding. I said, no, absolutely. And he told me about Aaron and all the great things that went along with Aaron. And I never knew him, but I told Bill from the start, I've always had a heart for emergency responders. I've always had a heart for fire department. And for all the people that kind of put their lives in front of other people. And he asked me if I'd come and play today. I said, yeah, I'll be there. I said, no problem. And Bridget wanted to hear this song. And so I wanted to play this song for the family. I have twins, boy and a girl. They're 3.5. They're crazy. But they're so much fun. And I know they bring me joy, and I know that going on, even though life may not always be easy, you get to look into the eyes of these awesome kids and remember that life can still be good. So this goes. There's a kid in a park. He's playing on a swing. The only friends he's got are the folks that took him in. They're his mom and his dad. Yeah, they love him like he's gold. But no one else could care if he gets left out in the cold. But he knows that he's gonna be alright. 'Cause the love that he's got is gonna keep him warm through the night. 'Cause life is good. Oh, life is good. and he wouldn't change a thing if he could. Oh, 'cause life is good, yeah, oh, life is good. He's living it up just like I knew he would, 'cause life is good. And there's a mom home alone. Her kids are all at school. Her husband passed away, now she's just trying to make it through. But every day these kids come home with pictures that they've drawn. Well, they draw themselves, the mom and dad. They even draw the dog. But she knows that she's gonna be alright. 'Cause these little ones are gonna keep her warm through the night. 'Cause life is good, yeah. Oh, life is good. And even though it's hard, life is good. Oh, life is good, yeah. Oh, life is good. She's gonna push on through just like I knew she would. 'Cause life is good, yeah. Oh, yeah, life is good, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. There's a man, well, he plays guitar for a living. He travels around going from city to city. But his friends and his family, they're all waiting back home. And this road that he's on, well, it can feel so alone. Oh, but he knows that he's gonna be alright. 'Cause this road will take him home at the end of the night. 'Cause life is good. Oh, life is good. And he wouldn't change a thing if he could. Oh, life is good, yeah. Oh, life is good. He's living it up just like I knew he would. 'Cause life is good. Life is good.
Dr. Daggy has answered his last call. Dr. Daggy lived an extraordinary but all too brief life of service to his family and his community as husband, father, physician, and firefighter. His presence among us will be sadly missed but always remembered. Thank you, Aaron, for your leadership, your friendship, and your first service. We'll continue the mission from here.
I just want you to know that your dad was a really decent person. If you grow up and you can be a decent person, regardless of how much money you make, how other people look at you, like somebody who's important or who's someone not important, you can be a decent person, as decent a person as your dad. You'll have succeeded in the most important thing in life. So I think I've known a lot of people, and all of us have our flaws, but some people deep down, they're just really good people. And that's how I felt about your dad. I thought Aaron was just a really good person.
He's a good man. He's a good man. He was a good doctor. He's a good person. Every patient that I've ever taken care of, for the most part, can't please everybody, but patients, he'll sit down and he'll sit down and he'll listen to them. And when he's talking to you, he'll give you all that time. So just know that he gave when he was with you, and even when he wasn't with them, he had their heart 100%.
Your father, being a doctor, he had great passion for other folks, and any one of us, that we would strive well to try to do that, and that'd be your goal.
He was a very loving person, that's for sure, and he always gave everybody a second chance at least. So I think not just making your mind up on somebody just the first time you meet them. Always give them a second chance, and remember that you have to love your family and give them a chance to, no matter what. So even if your mom is kind of ragging on you, just let her be your mom and love her.
The thing to remember is that he was very proud of all of you. He brought Eli to our station. I don't know if he remembers that. He showed him the ambulances. And the thing to remember is that, he was a first responder. So he was one of those special people.
10, 15 years from today, I hope you can look back and, you'll always be proud of him. And you make him proud and be the person he is, and you'll do fine.
I'll really miss Aaron. All of us here will. Everyone who had the pleasure of knowing him that I've seen, they always speak so highly of him. So this really shows, he's a really nice person. And I think he's in a better place than all of us. So, but I'll really miss him.
And to try to do the best they can with whatever endeavor, whatever job, wherever life takes them. That would be following in their father's footsteps.
He was a family man. A lot of us in the business forget that. And he set the example of what it meant to find work balance and family life.
Always very level-headed, very calm, he didn't panic in situations. He was always respectful. And I think it's very important that the one thing I would definitely learn from your dad was to keep in mind that kind of stuff. It goes a long way. It just makes you a better human being and just a better person. Like if you need a role model, just think about these stories.
Everybody really liked him. He was funny too. And he loved you very much.